recorded live in Jacksonville, Florida. This is Trivial Warfare. More than just a pub quiz, Trivial Warfare is your gateway to a worldwide trivia community. Join your hosts, Jonathan.
We just described Ric Flair as Neanderthal Man and Planet of the Apes.
Chris.
Yo, we going down to Sesame Street.
That's your impression of hardcore rap?
No. Carmela.
That would irritate the hell out. I'm like, I just want my groceries. My ice cream is melting.
Ben.
4 halogens in that list. Oh my God.
You were like, it's not the halogens. I'm like, no, Ben, no.
Those damn halogens got me again.
And the rest of the Trivial Warfare Army for another week of fun and games. Now here's your host, Jonathan Oakes.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Trivial Warfare. We are the podcast that takes the pub quiz out of the pub and brings it home to you. My name is Jonathan, and I am here today once again with my social distant friends. I have chair number 1, chair number 2, and chair number 3 that are all empty. I wish they were filled with the rear ends of the people I love, namely Mr. Chris Hollister. Hello, Chris.
Well, you love even my rear end? My tiny rear end?
I love every part of you, Chris.
You're very sweet, Jonathan. Thank you. It's good to be back on.
All right, Carmela Smith.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, welcome back.
Thank you.
Ben Young.
I can say firsthand there's nothing tiny about Chris's rear end.
That's not true,
it's
Chris.
completely tiny.
Yeah,
Everything
tiny.
else is very big, but not the butt.
Chris can't even do the booty dance. There's nothing.
I have to borrow somebody else's booty in order to do it.
And they don't like that.
They really don't.
We have some awesome guests today. Stacey Melquist is here with us. Hello, Stacey.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
We also have Anton Preisinger. Hello, Anton.
Hi, guys. This is really great. Thank you so much.
Welcome. So I want to get to know you all a little bit better. So, Stacey, we'll start with you. Tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
Sure. Well, I'm right now located in Pasadena, California, and I've kind of been a global traveler, I should say, at least a U.S. traveler during my life. And I work as a program manager at a small pharmaceutical company, bringing drugs to clinical trials. And something fun about myself, I'm an avid knitter and golfer, and so I have a lot of fun outdoors usually, not these days, but hopefully sometime soon.
What is the favorite thing that you've ever knitted?
I love to knit shawls.
Ooh.
And particularly being inside, I know in Florida, it can be over air conditioned, and the same thing in California. It's nice to have something just to wrap around your shoulders.
That's very true.
I will say that over air conditioning is my favorite kind of air conditioning.
I am wearing a sweater inside my own house.
I've got a bathrobe blanketing my legs as we speak.
I'm upstairs in the heat box. I had to turn the fan on.
Yeah.
All right. And Anton, tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
I'm from Port Orchard. We're just outside of Seattle on the Olympic Peninsula here. I am a stay-at-home dad, part-time EMT, and I started a homeless outreach nonprofit about 4 years ago that keeps me pretty busy. So something fun about myself is I won your trivia question writing contest a year or so ago. I don't know if you guys remember.
I do remember
Robert
that.
The Robert Smalls question. I wrote that up, and it was a lot of fun. That was kind of information taken from another podcast I listened to called The Dollop that was pretty fascinating. So I had a lot of fun doing that, and you guys donated to my nonprofit as part of the winnings there. So appreciated that very much. So
I think it's
That is awesome.
Love that. Carmela picked you as, we didn't know anybody's names. We didn't know who submitted them because we kept that secret. So it was totally based on the quality of the question itself. So great job.
Thank you.
All right. So it is time for us to get started with Warm It Up, Chris.
It's time to warm it up on Trivial Warfare today. And there's only one person who can warm it up for the TWA, and that's Chris and sometimes Jonathan.
And the part of Chris today is being played by Mr. Ben Young. So take it away, Ben.
Thank you. All right, so this warm up Chris question comes into us, and I lost the name of the person that submitted it, so that's
like just
bad.
Now or a long time ago.
Like just now.
Rookie bust.
It was part of the computer crashing thing that occurred, and it didn't dawn on me until too late. I don't want to risk.
Do you want to look for it
by researching it? I cannot find the source of this. So this was inspired by. It's actually been inspired by more than one conversation I've had with different members of the TWA, and one of the big controversies that's come up a lot is how a lot of people think that Nick Nolte and Gary Busey are actually the same person. So
I always say that I can't tell them apart.
I have a hard time.
Yeah. It's a big controversy in the Army right now. So what I'm going to do is I have a list of movies, and I want you to tell me whether Nick Nolte was in the movie or whether Gary Busey was in the movie.
Okay, that's fair.
All right.
These are in 80% random order.
They made the Parent Trap together.
Actually, we're going to start with Jonathan. And Jonathan, yours is Warrior.
I don't know the movie at all, so this is a random guess for me. I'm going to guess Nick Nolte.
It is Nick Nolte.
Nice job.
Genius level answer right there.
I was singing Pat Benatar.
All right. Anton, you get 48 hours.
That was Nick Nolte.
That was Nick Nolte. Good job.
That's the one that I know.
That was the one I knew, but
Yep. All right. Stacey, you get Warriors.
Warriors?
Warriors.
Okay. Well, I also am not familiar with Warrior or Warriors. I'm hoping it's still Nick Nolte, but we'll see.
All right. Warriors was Gary Busey.
Well.
Chris, you get the Buddy Holly story.
Oh, that was definitely Gary Busey.
That was Gary Busey. Good job. Carmela, you get Tropic Thunder.
I'm going to say Gary Busey.
Tropic Thunder was Nick Nolte.
Oh, are you sure? Because they look exactly the same.
All right. Jonathan, you get Guido.
That's the name of a movie?
Yes, it is.
It's offensive.
I'm going to go random guess number 2 because I haven't heard of this movie either, and I'll say Gary Busey.
It is Gary Busey.
2 for 2, baby. Random guessing for the win.
All right. Anton, you get Confessions of a Womanizer.
Man, there's some deep cuts here.
Yeah, no clue. Let's play the odds and go back to Nick.
It is Gary Busey.
Nick. It is Nick Nolte.
Stacey, you get Down and Out in Beverly Hills.
Down and Out in Beverly Hills. I am familiar with this movie, but my goodness, can I remember which one of these guys is in it? I'm thinking it's Nick Nolte.
It is Nick Nolte. Good job.
Nice job.
That's my partner.
All right. Chris, you get DC Cab.
Ooh, it's been a long time since I've seen DC Cab. I don't remember Nick Nolte being in it. He was kind of a big thing at that point in time. So I'm going to say Gary Busey.
It is Gary Busey.
Yes,
Good
2
job.
for 2.
Carmela, you get Mulholland Falls.
Is it a sequel to Mulholland Drive?
Maybe.
I don't know. Gary Busey.
It is Nick Nolte.
Yeah, well.
So this is the last round. Jonathan, I'm going to give you what is by far the best movie title on this list, and that would be Sharknado 4: The Fourth Awakens.
This is a modern-ish kind of movie. This would have been right around the same time as The Apprentice. Might have had Gary Busey on it, and he was looking and acting crazy, so it might be a good fit. I'm going Gary Busey.
It is Gary Busey.
3 for 3.
Oh, yeah.
He is warmed up.
All right. Anton, you get Lethal Weapon.
Oh, geez, I hope I get this one right. Gary Busey.
It is Gary Busey.
Yeah, he was awesome in that movie.
Yeah, he was.
All right. Stacey, you get the Prince of Tides.
Prince of Tides. I'm pretty sure that's Nick Nolte.
It is Nick Nolte.
Great.
All right. Chris, you get my favorite movie on this list, Blue Chips.
Oh, that's Nick Nolte for sure.
It is Nick Nolte. Great job.
Boom, 3 for 3 myself.
And rounding us out, Carmela, you get Surviving the Game.
It's a good thing that I know all the answers to our quiz today because I'm not warmed up at all. I don't know. I think I've said Gary Busey this whole time, so Gary Busey.
It is Gary Busey. Great job. Yep. And that is your Warm It Up Chris question of the episode.
What I take from that is that I haven't seen... I might have seen
movies?
like 2 movies that have one of those people in them.
48 Hours and Lethal Weapon.
I've never seen 48 Hours. Lethal Weapon and...
Sharknado 4.
And no. Actually, maybe just one. Yeah. Good job, Jonathan. So, this is episode number 266. Really excited to be done with social distancing. It should be soon. Thank you all for listening and for sticking with us, and I hope that this is providing entertainment for you. If you want to make sure that you don't miss an episode of Trivial Warfare and you get a new show every week, you need to go to trivialwarfarearmy.com and sign up as a lieutenant or above to make sure that you never miss an episode. And with that being said, I can tell you that today's game is going to be Jonathan and Anton versus Stacey, Ben, and Chris. Carmela is hosting, and it's time to play the game.
Play us. Oh, yeah. Y'all know what time it is. This is Mr. Literature himself, cordially inviting you to the game. This is 6 rounds of trivia goodness. 3 questions per round. Every right answer gets you 10 points. In the middle, we'll take a pause for the cause and ask a midpoint question worth up to 20 juicy points. After round 6, you can wager any or all those points you've been building up and take a shot at the final round. It's a series of theme-based questions we call the Gauntlet. It's just that easy, baby. But this game ain't gonna play itself, players. Let's get it on.
All right, let's get started. Your first category in round 1 is I need a drink.
You and me both.
What kind of spirit is typically made from grains or potatoes and is regulated in the U.S. to be defined as neutral spirits so distilled or so treated after distillation with charcoal or other materials as to be without distinctive character, aroma, taste, or color?
You said has to be without?
Yes, neutral spirits so distilled or so treated after distillation with charcoal or other materials as to be without distinctive character, aroma, taste, or color.
I'm locked in. Oh, sorry, Anton. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
Is Anton locked in with you?
I'm so sorry.
I'm sure we're on the same page. I did send you a message, though.
Let's look at our message. Yes, same thing I was thinking. We're locked in now.
Yeah, I'm thinking
All right.
vodka here. Potatoes is that is big dead ringer for vodka.
I'm thinking the same thing. It's all because of the potato.
Yep.
What do I know? I'm just sober.
There you go. All right.
Don't worry,
so,
Chris, I am too.
I'm sober.
One of
today.
us. One of us.
I'm sober right now. I mean, I am.
All right,
All right.
We're locked in with potato.
We're locked in with
All right,
vodka.
with vodka.
No,
Vodka,
too late.
vodka.
Too late. You locked in with potato.
Shut up. Shut your face with your face.
So you never know what's in a man's glass. So there's that. We went vodka. Or vodka.
It is vodka.
Woo!
Neutral spirits, good for putting in mixed drinks. So
It has over time it's become
that
my
does
favorite.
not count towards your one, Ben.
Over time it has become my favorite. I use it in a lot of different drinks.
cool.
It's cheap.
Well, depends
Because
on what you
it's
get.
Well,
No, he's right. It's hard to find an expensive vodka. Even the Grey Goose and the other expensive ones are like $40 for a fifth.
because it's
Yeah.
potatoes. How fancy can you make potatoes?
Not all vodka is made from potatoes.
Oh, okay, fine.
They're mainly made with greens and potatoes, as I said at the beginning, but there's also ones that are made from fruit. Basically it's just any kind of distilled neutral.
Oh.
And I just got some commentary from Waco, and he goes, and no one can smell it on you.
I like it, Waco.
That sounds like he's talking from experience.
Man, we've never had a commentary during a show before. That could be interesting.
Well, this is the first recording that Waco's been a witness to. So
cool. Welcome, Waco.
Okay. Your next category. What's in a name? Dr. Phil has been on the air for almost 18 years, though doctor should be used loosely as he no longer has any license to practice in the United States. What is Dr. Phil's last name? Seemingly no relation to any famous baseball players or musicians.
I have 3 meow meows.
Yeah, we can. Yep. We're all 3 of us said the same thing, so we're locked in.
Meow meow.
That does not count as a meow meow, Ben. You can't smack your water bottle and pretend.
You need to mail meow meow to him.
No, that ain't happening.
That's the closest thing I had that made noise.
That was
I had to find it.
I was going to say, I could grab my cat, but I don't think he'd meow on command.
All right, so you guys are locked in. Anton. Man, I don't know. I don't know jack about Dr. Phil.
I probably recognized it when I saw it.
I mean, so it's going to be a name shared by baseball players or musicians. So Bonds, Griffey, Trout,
Jackson,
Rose. What's his name? I've heard his name before. Dr. Phil.
I have a feeling like it starts with M, but nothing's really sparking for me.
Mays? Mantle?
Yeah, I don't know where I'd be getting that from either. That's just a gut feeling.
Johnson?
I'm not sure.
Jefferson? I mean, she put the clue for baseball in there intentionally.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a pretty well-known baseball player. Rodriguez, Jeter, Euclid, Dr. Phil Euclid, Pedroia, Price. Dr. Phil. I don't know his last name, dude. We're just wasting time, I think.
I don't know either. Yeah.
All right, you want to go Lucky Johnson?
Sure.
All right, we're locking in Johnson.
All right, well, it was a father and son that she was alluding to. The father's name was Tug. The son's name is Tim. The last name is McGraw.
Dr. Phil's last name is McGraw.
I had no idea.
I was referring to Tug and Tim McGraw.
Nice clue, by the way, Carmela. That was fantastic.
That's a really good clue.
Your last category in the round is greatest hits. Heartbreak Hotel was the first hit song from what rock icon?
3 meow meows, Chris.
We're locked in.
Okay.
All I can think of is Elvis Presley on that one.
Meow meow.
The Jackson 5 did have a hit named Heartbreak Hotel, but this is not them. This is Elvis Presley.
We said Elvis.
It is indeed Elvis Presley. Heartbreak Hotel was his first breakthrough hit. Heartbreak Hotel was actually co-written by a guy named Tom Durden, who was from Jacksonville. So,
nice.
Local guy co-wrote Heartbreak Hotel.
That's really cool.
At the end of the first round, the score is 30-20. Stacey, Chris, and Ben are in the lead, thanks to Mr. McGraw.
Your first category in round 2 is Made in America. What was the name of the first child born to English parents in the American colonies? It seems her parents took some inspiration from another colony in naming her.
We're locked in.
Okay, I figured Jonathan would lock in. This is a question that I've heard before. This is one of those trivia staples, and I am struggling to remember it. Stacey, Any ideas? Ben?
I don't have any ideas. I'm trying to think of other colonies because I'm actually not very familiar with this staple trivia question.
From the history route, so the very first colony was now the United States was, of course, St. Augustine, but it wasn't English. That was 1565. First English colony was Jamestown in Virginia in 1607.
Yeah,
so it would stand to reason that the child would have been born there.
Okay, Ben, I think the last name was Dare. Does that hit anything for you guys? Because I'm thinking Virginia Dare, but that's just, I don't know. There's something in me that's saying that's not it. Rebecca?
Dare sounds familiar.
I have to say, I don't have any idea on this question, so I think I'm going to rely on you guys for this.
Oh, boy.
I don't know. Virginia is probably going to be our best shot.
I was going to say, Ben, can we just have Carmela repeat the question one last time for us, just to make sure I didn't miss something?
Okay. What was the name of the first child born to English parents in the American colonies? It seems her parents took some inspiration from another colony in naming her.
Colony. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, Virginia Dare was the first one to come up, but I don't know if I'm going to have a better answer than that, guys. I'm sorry.
All right, let's go with that.
Like I said, this answer is, I've heard it. I've heard the question before, and I'm kind of kicking myself for immediately not knowing it.
We're not going to waste time. We'll just lock in with Virginia.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So this was a baby born in the lost colony of Roanoke. The answer is Virginia Dare.
Her name is Virginia Dare.
Yes.
Nice.
So it's kind of awkward, Carmela. Are you accepting the first name as an answer?
I'm going to say yes, because they did actually say Virginia Dare before he said locked in Virginia. So I'm going to go ahead and accept it.
Good.
Yeah, if you had asked us for a last name, we would have said Dare, because that's what he led off with.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Your next category. Mega hit in my heart, but not necessarily on the charts. Please name the 1977 song with these lyrics. When the day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face. When someone else instead of me always seems to know the way. I'm going to read them again. When the day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face. When someone else instead of me always seems to know the way.
All right, we're going to lock in.
Pretty stumped over here. So I suggested, we think it might be a Bee Gees song. It sounds very familiar to me. I know I'm a huge Bee Gees fan, but I can't place these lyrics in any of their songs. The closest that I got was Islands in the Stream. I know that's a Bee Gees song originally.
It just feels like it's a very somber song, and Islands in the Stream, that is what we are. I mean, it just seems
no one in between. How can we be wrong? Run away with me to another place.
And we rely on each other.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think every artist I can think of is probably closer to 1979. So someone like Roberta Flack, or even like something like I Will Survive, that's too late. So
yeah, I mean, and like I said, I keep thinking Let It Be, but I think that's way too late. 77 just seems, but for every time I'm singing the song, it's like, when the days that lie ahead of me seem impossible. Okay, now that I'm singing it out loud, it doesn't match, so never mind. In my head, it matched beautifully. Guessing we don't really have anything. So I think, Ben, you seem to have a little more thunder with the Islands in the Island Stream. Oh, you just wrote, and Stacey just wrote Seals and Croft.
I can't remember what Seals and Croft song is there, but I know they're around that same time. But I think if you feel comfortable with a Bee Gees song, I'd say let's go with that.
Well, Islands in the Stream was, I mean, one of the Bee Gees wrote it, but it wasn't performed by the Bee Gees, I don't think.
Yeah, they performed it, but it was famously
Okay.
covered later by, was it Kenny Rogers and somebody else?
Dolly
Parton.
Yeah, I can say let's just go with that. We don't have anything better, so.
All right, we're locked in with Islands in the Stream.
Okay.
We had even less than that. We couldn't place the lyrics. Like, Anton, we couldn't place the lyrics at all, could we?
Nope, I had nothing.
I had nothing.
I'm not
either.
a big music guy.
I find lyrics questions to be really hard for me. I love them, but the struggles. So we couldn't. We stunk. We stunk. It was bad. We guessed I'm Every Woman, hoping for a little bit of that disco action.
It's not bad.
Thank you.
All Jonathan.
It's not right, but it's not bad.
Bruce Springsteen did have an album that came out the year after Darkness on the Edge of Town, but this is also not Bruce Springsteen. I'm only saying that because it was mentioned in the discussion. This is Lovely Day by Bill Withers.
Oh,
wow. Withers question. Should have known it would be a Bill
lies
Withers.
ahead of me.
Oh, yep.
Impossible to face.
Yeah, I don't know this song.
It's a very famous song by Bill Withers.
That's
Lovely
great.
day. Lovely day.
Lovely day, a lovely day. Yep.
Yeah.
So this peaked at number 30 on the Hot 100 in 1977. That's why I said it's not a mega hit on the chart. Fun fact about this song, Ray Parker Jr. played the guitar on this track.
Oh, wow.
Of Ghostbusters fame.
Mr. Ghostbuster himself.
Yes. It also has a note that is held for about 18 seconds, which is one of the longest recorded notes on a song. So Bill Withers had a lot of lung capacity.
It is hard. It is so hard to hold a note for any amount of time without it going up or down in pitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
Bill
is.
Withers, that was one of his calling cards, was being able to do that.
Yep. Very wonderful musician who unfortunately passed away this past week. He was 81 years old.
Rest in peace,
So-
Mr. Withers.
Yes. I don't get super emotional a whole lot of times when celebrities die, but I got emotional on that one. I love Bill Withers.
I completely agree.
Your last category in the round is laundry day. On a clothing tag, what shape has an X through it for the instructions do not bleach?
Chris, why are you taking your shirt off?
We getting topless now?
Yeah, literally nobody laughed at that.
I know.
Just
I
like,
know.
no.
Also, I don't wear shirts with tags anymore.
I
so-
don't need you to point out when my jokes flop, Carmela. I comprehended it.
Oh boy.
I laughed,
Seasonous.
partner. I was just
Thank
muted.
you, Anton.
Don't encourage
Look.
him. Don't
Look,
encourage him.
if you want to see something pasty
My
white,
job.
you just let me know, all right?
All right, we're locked in.
All right, Anton, that means we can talk.
Oh, that's good. I'm having a hard time following the logic on some of these,
On some of these, what?
like the triangle you suggested. I have nothing better, but
On the tag, can you visualize anything? Because I did. A teardrop might make sense, but I feel like I can visualize a triangle with a line through it. Not a horizontal line, but like a diagonal line. I feel like I can see that.
yeah, like I said, I have nothing better. I'm just trying to think of why they would do that.
Oh,
why
man.
that would mean that would mean do not bleach.
Yeah, I don't know.
So the teardrop makes more sense to me than a triangle. I don't know, maybe some bubbles or something. I don't have an answer, but
I'm leaning towards
I'm good with-
triangle now that we talked about it. I really am.
okay, yeah. If you've seen it on the tag, then it makes sense. We can go with that.
All right, we're gonna guess triangle.
All right. We had a very similar discussion. We were oscillating between triangle and circle. We think, though, that triangle with an X means do not iron. So we locked in with circle.
When you see a triangle on a clothing tag, that's indication for bleach. So if there are diagonals through it, you use non-chlorine bleach. If there's an X through it, you do not use bleach on it at all.
Wow, lucky.
That makes
Good job,
no
Jonathan.
sense.
We lucked out, brother.
That makes no sense.
Well, triangles are used for like yield signs, like, hey, this is a chemical, do not touch. Maybe that's their logic. I don't know.
Do you know what?
All right,
Circles.
Fair point.
What brought me to it was I was initially pushing for teardrop, but Anton mentioned maybe it's like just a bleach bottle. And I thought, well, out of the shapes, what would represent a bleach bottle? And that's when triangle came to mind. And then I started to see it in my head.
Nice.
The circle is the dry cleaning symbol. So
Okay.
At the end of the second round, the score is 40-40.
getting into round 3, your first category is finality.
Finality.
What 1999 movie was not only the last movie starring both Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman while they were still married, but the last film released by its director?
Stacey's texting with thunder over there.
Yeah, Stacey's right. I think we can lock that in, lady and gentlemen.
Yep. Let's do it.
We're locked in. Good job, Stacey.
All right, nice.
I have thunder, Anton.
I can tell. Go for it.
All right, we're going to go Eyes Wide Shut. I think it's Stanley Kubrick's last movie.
We also said Eyes Wide Shut.
Stanley Kubrick passed away just after he finished the final cut of this movie. It was Eyes Wide Shut.
Nice. Good job, Stacey.
Thank you, Jonathan.
I think one of them was probably like, I can't believe you made us pick that movie. I'm done with this relationship.
Yeah, that's not what did it,
It's
but
not what
sure.
happened? All right.
No.
I mean, I wasn't there.
No.
I don't know.
Your next category, location, location, location. The show Stranger Things is set in the fictional town of Hawkins, which is in what Midwest state?
Okay, let's lock it in, guys.
Sounds good.
All right, we're locked in.
Go, Stacey.
All right, Anton.
Yeah, I like your ideas. You're leading me to Iowa or Ohio. I have seen it, but
I haven't.
I haven't really paid attention. That's part of the storyline I didn't catch. So, but I'm kind of pulled towards Ohio.
Oh, the reason that I thought maybe Ohio is that it's really geographically diverse. There's lots of different like forests and flatlands and some hills. It's an interesting place. It's very middle America feeling.
Yeah.
So that's the reason that I thought it could be something like that. But honestly, I have not seen an episode or a minute of an episode. So if you have any leaning in a different direction, please lean.
No, I've enjoyed the episodes, but again, I didn't catch it. But I was leading toward Ohio before you typed that in, and I think that's as good as I'm going to get. So we can lock in with Ohio.
All right.
We locked in with Indiana. I'm a former attendee of Purdue University, and I'm pretty sure it's Indiana.
Although 11 does take a brief foray into Chicago in season 2, the show is actually set in Hawkins, Indiana.
Nice job, Stacey.
I didn't even know Indiana was a place.
You didn't know Indiana was a place. Shout out to all of the TWA living in Indiana right now.
I thought it was like this made-up thing.
You were
not
so
Boston.
near it not even a month ago.
I know, I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
Well, South Bend, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't exist, but the rest of Indiana, you're cool.
Your last category in the round is monikers. Assuming no relation to Ben, but Andre Romel Young is the birth name of what rap legend and record executive?
I have 2.5 meow meows on that, Chris.
I was literally just messaging you how many meow meows.
Can you
What is
repeat just to be sure? I'll tell you in a minute, Stacey.
Andre Romel Young is the birth name of what rap legend and record executive?
Yeah, I've got 2. So 3 meow meows is you're absolutely certain, Stacey.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's kind of the scale you're working with. I'm at 2.5 meow meows on this.
That's better than the number of meow meows I have, so I think go with it.
Go ahead, Ben.
All right, we're locked in. Meow meow.
3 times.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Okay, so Anton has ceded his vote to me here. He said that he has negative knowledge about rap, meaning that anything he says will actually harm whatever possible answer that we Anton, did I understand that correctly?
Sounds like Anton and I need to have a conversation.
I'm tempted to go Megan the Stallion.
Off. Don't be jealous.
No, so yeah, the executive part. So a rap legend. I was trying to think of rap legends, right? You got your Jay-Z's, your KRS-One, Andre 3000 might be considered legendary at this point. You have Grandmaster Flash, you have Biggie Smalls, you got Tupac, you got all these folks. But record executive means that either you started your own company or you joined somebody's company. That puts you in the mind of like Jay-Z and Sean Combs and those guys. But I'm wondering if this is going to be a member of Run DMC. It could be Run, because Run's name is not obviously Run. I don't think it's DMC, because I think his name is like Daryl. Yeah, I don't have anything better than that. I don't know if he's a record executive, but he could be. We're going to guess Reverend Run.
All right, Ben, this was all you, man.
So when she said Andre, I'm like, okay. The first person that popped in my mind was Andre 3000, but I was like, I don't know that he's an executive. And then I remembered that his last name is actually Benjamin. So I knew it was not him. So then I went to, okay, what are some other famous rappers that have the name Dre or Andre? And so that took me to Dr. Dre, because he obviously is a legend with NWA and then his solo career, and then started Aftermath Records. So we locked in with Dr. Dre.
I literally forgot Dr. Dre existed. I'm upset.
Apparently he lives in Indiana.
Don't bring up that make-believe crap again, Ben.
So Run's name is Joseph Simmons. I believe he's related to Russell Simmons. But the record label I'm looking for is Death Row, which would be Dr. Dre.
Oh,
nice.
I'm upset.
Good job.
It's right there for the taking, and I flopped on it, and I could have got that. Oh,
is that the end of the round?
It is.
That sure is.
I'm writing down scores.
He's frustrated.
At the end of the third round, the score is 70-50. Stacey, Chris, and Ben have taken a lead.
Getting into your midpoint, your category is obligatory sports question.
Sports ball!
The Six Nations Championship is an annual international rugby union competition between 6 European countries. The current champion is Wales after winning in 2019. For 4 points each, name the remaining 5 countries.
You want how many answers, Carmela?
I want 5.
Okay.
So there are 6 nations. Wales is one of them. What are the other 5?
All right, we're locked in.
Just to kind of take y'all through the conversation we're having, me and Chris both are on the same track. We just start making a list of countries because we thought these were English dominant, especially with Wales being an example. So Chris starts off with Ireland. So he says Ireland, and I'm like, okay, England. Then he says Scotland. Then I'm like, Hogwarts. So it's kind of the train we were on. I think we got derailed when we got the Hogwarts because, you know, they play, what's the name of that? Quidditch?
Quidditch.
Quidditch. Yes.
Quidditch.
Hey,
That's the underwater variation.
That's pretty good for someone who's never seen a movie or read the books, okay?
But Stacey mentioned Northern Ireland, so that made me wonder. Okay, could it be divided up into sections like Northern, Southern Ireland, or is there Northern Ireland and then Ireland, and then yeah, exactly, and then Scotland could be one of its own. But then we need 5 more answers other than Wales.
Well, England would be its own because it's not. It's its own section of the UK.
Okay.
If it wasn't for it being a European thing, I know that both New Zealand and Australia, as former colonies, are heavy into rugby. But
right. But she said European, and I've got a feeling it's in the UK proper.
England, Scotland, Ireland, Northern Ireland.
For 4.
Yep, and then
that
what would be
4.
The 5th? Is there like another island, like a Canterbury Islands or something?
Nice. Yeah.
I think there's the Canary Islands. But
the Isle of Wight. Is there like another part of after Wales? Because you said England, Wales, and then I think there's a third one actually, and I cannot think of the name of it.
Is that the Isle of Wight?
Well, I know that's an island right off the coast of.
I hope so. I hope that's an answer because their team will be the Fighting Whiteys. So I'm hoping that will.
Oh, you were going for that long setup, Ben.
It is spelled differently. I just want to point that out.
I know that, but it's pronounced the same. It's a homonym, Carmela.
The Almighty Whiteys, actually, Ben.
Unfortunately, I think it's part of Scotland. And I know
should just go Hogwarts or just guess another country.
Well, I was going to say because Birmingham, and I think I even said it right in the midst of the yawn, Birmingham, but I don't think that's it. Buckingham, but I think that's a title. I mean, it's not Sherwood. Addie and friends will be so frustrated with us. Let's lock in England, North Ireland, Scotland, and then finally, because Ben's been pushing so hard, we will say, sadly, Hogwarts.
I mean, there's a finite number of countries. You could guess a country.
You're not wrong, dude, but Ben was adamant.
All right. Hogwarts it is. All right, man. What do we say?
We locked in with England, Ireland, Scotland, Denmark, and the Netherlands.
So the remaining 5 nations in the Six Nations Championship is England, France, Ireland, Italy, and Scotland.
All right,
we got 3. Both of us got 3.
It originally was the 5 Nations Championship, so it was kind of around the English Channel area. So it was England, France, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, and then Italy joined fairly recently, within the last 10 years, and became the Six Nations Championship. But I don't think it's not going on right now, so Wales is still the reigning champion.
Cool.
At the end of the midpoint, the score is 82-62. Stacey, Ben, and Chris are in the lead. Hey, everybody. That is the end of the first half of today's game. Before we go into the second half of today's game, I want to let you know that today's show is sponsored by Audible. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word entertainment and audio books. But everybody, let me tell you, it's much more than just audio books. Every month, members get a credit to pick any title, but you also get 2 Audible originals from a monthly selection, and you get access to things, digests from the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal. They even have guided meditation programs. The idea of guided meditation programs on Audible is fantastic. For me, I'm an audiobook guy. My favorite author is Lois McMaster Buchholz, and I want to highly recommend The Curse of Chalion. The Curse of Chalion is a fantasy novel. It has its own world-building, wide-ranging religion, politics, there's action, there's love, but frankly, it's the best thing written by the best author in the world, in my opinion. Love her, love her, love her. Highly recommend it. You can check it out on Audible, and you can start a free trial. That's right, you can get a free trial on Audible using your code from Trivial Warfare. Just go to audible.com/TWA or text TWA to the number 500-500. That's right, visit audible.com/TWA or text TWA to 500-500 and sign up for your free trial today to get access to all of the awesome stuff that's out there waiting for you. All right, let's get on with the second half of today's game.
Round 4, your first category is science.
Science.
At the end of Charlotte's Web, Charlotte's children drift off into the wind, creating, in this host's opinion, a terrifying visual of a tiny cloud of spiders. What are baby spiders called?
It's not baby spiders, is it?
Afraid not, sir.
Is it kindling? Because you need to burn it with fire.
I don't know how effective it would be as firewood.
Ben, are you going to try to do real answers?
Dude, listen. If we
Ben's giving up.
Nobody knows the answer to this except Carmela.
I don't know. I think I have an idea. I'm trying to write it out, but you keep writing Spinaroonie.
That sounds like a terrible canned food.
Yeah. The spider be like, 8 time. Let's go with what you first suggested, Chris.
All right, we're locked in.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. Hold on for a second, Jonathan. Stacey, are you okay with that?
Yes, I agree.
Oh, okay. Then yes, we're locked in.
Logging in with Spinaroonie. All right, Jonathan.
Anton, help.
I'm letting you down, man. I've been waiting for the science question, and I don't know that I've ever heard this. I don't know. We could go with baby arachnid. She can't technically say it's wrong.
She sure can. She sure can. So spiderlings is the best I got.
Yeah, I can't think of anything better. I think when she says it, I'm going to be kicking myself, as Chris would say. But
if you do kick yourself, can you record it on video and send it to me so I can post it to the official Trivial Warfare TikTok page? Because that's a thing. We are on TikTok, y'all.
I'll have my kid, my boy, kick me and send you that video. And
I would love that.
That's kind of like me kicking myself.
If anyone would like to get kicked and take a video of it, send it my way.
I don't know, but I'm trying to think of if their name has anything to do with the way they hatch, or I can't think of anything better than what you've suggested with Spiderling, which I'm sure is wrong, but I think we've got to go with it.
All right, we're saying Spiderlings.
Funny part is that there in the Spider-Man universe, Spider-Man in an altered timeline has a kid, and the kid becomes a superhero, and his name's Spiderling, and so that's what the answer we wrote was Spiderling.
If you have a young baby spider, it is called a Spiderling.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
You can still film your kid kicking you.
So when she first asked the question, like, what are baby spiders called? I'm like, Peter Parker's regrets.
Oh.
That was the one funny one he did.
I'm serious. If anybody wants to take a picture of themselves getting kicked, send it my way. I'm not joking at all.
Wow. I know you're not joking. You're actually kind of excited about it, and that's
It's going to be funny.
It depends on what kind of humor you're into.
Jonathan likes other people's pain.
That's not true at all, but I do like harmless
it's not
things.
True.
No, I don't.
I am leaning towards taking a video of me lip syncing Cardi B saying coronavirus.
Dude, I've heard it so many times now that even at work, like I'm working and I got to write coronavirus or see it in an email, and I'm hearing it in that voice. I'm like, coronavirus update 4/3/20. I really am enjoying TikTok. It is a lot of fun. There's so many funny things. It's incredible.
Your next category is symbology. An octothorpe is a symbol commonly used in social media. Maybe it's used in TikTok. I don't know. An octothorpe is a symbol commonly used in social media. It denotes what?
He's got a whole lot of meows over there. You said it denotes what?
Yes, it denotes what?
How many meows do you have there, Stacey?
Hold on.
I have 3. I heard this question a couple days ago on a podcast.
All right.
I want to make sure I understand what Carmela is asking for, because I don't quite think I understand.
Do you want the other
question.
name for it, Carmela, or one of the other names for it? Is that what you're looking for?
When you use it in social media, what are you using it for? What is it denoting?
I don't understand. Maybe I'm just slow today, but I don't.
Did you see Stacey's answer on the thing?
Yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards. That's fine. Whatever. Lock it in.
All right. Are you locked in?
All right. Yes, because I trust Stacey's meow meows.
All right. So we're saying you're hashtagging something.
Yep.
We said hashtag.
And we also said hashtag. Yep.
Yep. An octothorpe, also known as a pound sign, will denote a hashtag.
Sweet.
I think Ben was struggling with it being a verb versus a noun.
Right. That's right.
Your last category in the round is the confrontation. In what musical will you find the characters Cosette and Eponine?
Can you spell those?
Sure. Cosette is COSETTE, and Eponine is EPONINE.
We're locked in.
I'm on the train with y'all.
Yeah, the confrontation being the category name, it absolutely has to be Les Mis. Valjean, at last we see each other plain. Monsieur la Mer, and I can't remember the rest of the words. Anyway, but yeah, that's the confrontation. That's one of the biggest songs on that musical. So absolutely has to be Les Mis.
I love how he's like fully invested in the singing, and then in the middle of the line, he's like, and I don't know the rest of the word.
He like gives an explanation and then sings half of the musical.
We also said Les Mis.
Monsieur le Maire, you'll wear a different chain, is the rest of that line. And it is Les Miserables. The confrontation is a song in the musical. That's why I put it as a category name.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance, Neil Patrick Harris and Jason Segel do a fantastic version of that song from an episode of Inside the Actor Studio. Unfortunately, I cannot remember the host's name, but he passed away a few weeks ago. But James Lipton. Thank you, sir. But that song, it just stuck with me because the two of them did it just out of the blue, out of nowhere, and did it with such passion. It was just so much fun to watch. So if you get a chance, definitely check that out on YouTube.
At the end of the fourth round, the score is 112-92. Ben, Stacey, and Chris have maintained their lead.
Your first category in round 5, Fish Are Friends. Finding Nemo has a lot of memorable characters, among them being Bruce, the great white shark.
Hello.
Bruce is voiced by Australian actor Barry Humphries. Humphries is best known for what drag character with signature lilac hair?
Oh, Anton, I hope you're up on your drag culture, brother.
About as much as I am on my rap culture.
Oh, jeez. Do you want me to just lock something in?
I don't know what to tell y'all.
No, hey, I'm cool. You want me to just lock something in?
Let me think about it for a few seconds. I think I know the voice actor, but nothing's coming to me.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do what you think is best here.
All right, we're locked in.
All right.
Stacey, I like your logic here, so why don't you talk it out real quick?
Sure. I think this is a little bit before my time, a little bit, but I know a lot of the drag performers in the U.S., but I'm thinking this might be Dame Edna. I think she's British, though, which is kind of what's not giving me a full 3 meows on this. But she does have purple hair.
Well, I mean, and lilac is purple, so we're good there. But just because the actual actor is is Australian, doesn't mean that he cannot portray her as British. So that's why I like the answer. And then also, I actually know Dame Edna. I mean, she's hilarious. I'm completely down with that answer. Ben, what do you think, bud?
Nothing. So
okay.
Yeah.
So I will add a half meow to yours.
Okay, I was going to say I don't think I can think of any other drag performer with purple hair. So let's lock in with Dame Edna.
All right, Jonathan.
We didn't have much to go on because we don't know much. So we guessed Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Okay.
Hey, it's a musical.
Could be an Australian.
It is Australian drag.
That's literally as close as I could get. Australia drag. That's what I got.
You'd probably most likely see her on the BBC. It is Dame Edna Everage. So Dame Edna is correct.
Great job.
Yeah. Way to go, Stacey.
Your next category is musical anatomy. On a standard orchestral trumpet, how many valves does it have?
What?
What do you mean what?
I did not understand any of that.
On a standard orchestral trumpet, how many valves does it have?
Yeah, Anton, that's what I'm thinking.
Sounds good.
Go ahead and lock us in, brother.
All right, we're locked in.
So,
okay,
leaning towards 3.
Well, I mean, is there any difference between an orchestral trumpet and just like a standard trumpet? Because I know a standard trumpet has 3, but I know that there's another type of trumpet that has 4. So that's just why I'm asking.
The orchestral trumpets are the ones you play in orchestras, Chris. That's the difference there.
No. I hear you, but I just was wanting to know if there's.
It's a joke, bro.
Well, we're trying to get an answer, Ben. All right.
Yeah, I'm a former French horn player, and I know they have 4, but I'm pretty sure it has 3.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
Number 3.
So when I was a teenager, I played trumpet. And if the trumpet in the orchestra was any different than the trumpet I was playing, I didn't know it. So Anton and I both locked in 3.
It has 3.
Yep.
There are some that have 4, but that's not the standard. And trumpets used to have different shapes and didn't have valves at all. So that's why I said a standard orchestral trumpet.
Cool. Good job, Ben and Stacey. Good job.
Your last category in the round is These Rocks Don't Lose Their Shape. If you were buying a princess cut diamond, what shape would it have?
Diamond, duh.
Carmela, do you mean looking at it from the top? Or do you mean looking at it from the side?
From the top. Like if you were looking at it in its setting,
okay.
What shape would it have?
Okay, thank you.
Ben, how many this time?
I've bought a lot of these. I bought a lot of engagement rings in my lifetime, so pretty sure I'm at 2.5 again.
All right. If you want to lock in, Stacey, I'm good with it.
I am too.
All right, Ben, lock it in.
We'll lock in.
All right, Anton. No, so if your vision for Princess Cut is that there are 8 sides, then the answer would be octagon. That would be right. So that's what we're looking for.
I think there's more sides than that, right?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what in particular the cuts are. I think there's a galaxy cut. I think there's one of these cuts has 4 sides. It's either a rectangle or a square. That's kind of a big flat one. I don't think that's the princess, though. I think the princess is going to be either a hex, an octo, or a deca.
Well, then it's up to a coin flip for me because I don't know I feel like it's got, princess cut. It's going to be more fancy. It's going to have more facets. It's going to be more sides. So
well, remember that it's 3-dimensional. So 8 sides feels like a lot because it's not just the edges are what you see from the top down, but there's 3 dimensions, so it lifts up from that, and there are planes that rise up and create a different or create a top point for it, not a point, but another flat surface on the top. Yeah. So just how you're looking at it, 8 is quite a lot, it feels like. 8 points would be
I'm good with
6 sides. I don't know how many sides that would be. 4. Anyway, octagon's as good as anything in my mind.
All right. I'm good with that.
All right,
Let's do it.
We'll guess octagon.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have Marquise cut, I think is what it's called, which is like an oval shape. You have your round cut. Princess cut, I'm pretty sure is square. So we locked in with square.
Oh, it's the big flat one.
No, the big flat one is a square cut. Princess cut has beveled edges, but it is also squared. Rectangle is also acceptable, but a square is just a different kind of rectangle. So, but they are.
Good job, Ben.
Good job, Ben.
Thank you.
Good job, Ben. Mr. Engagement.
You had to spend all that money for something.
Yeah.
When you look at it that way, I don't feel too bad. I think he got the worst of that. At the end of the 5th round, scores 142 to 102. It's a 40-point lead for Stacey, Ben, and Chris.
Your first category in round 6 is beginnings. Though it only lasted 1 season, My So-Called Life launched the career of what actress who went on to win 3 Emmys and 4 Golden Globes, including 1 for her role in the show?
I have like 8,000 meow meows.
All right. You go ahead. I got to step away for a minute, so go ahead.
All right, we're locked in. Stacey's back in my meows.
Anton,
yes, I am.
It's Claire Danes.
Sounds good.
So we're saying Claire Danes.
All right, Stacey, what do we also lock in with?
We also locked in with Claire Danes.
It is indeed Claire Danes. We have
Hopefully
an
nobody
awesome
could
shot at
I was gonna
Ben's
say,
phone.
Hopefully nobody could see Ben because Ben's right on our chat. So I'm just.
That's an oddly good picture. That's like art right there.
My connection's so slow that his phone is 1 pixel, so I'm good on my end. I can't read any of that.
I just messaged, thanks for showing our chat, Ben.
I'm probably one of the closest people to their computer, and I can't read what it says. So
I can't read it either. For a second there, I thought you were going to ask about Jared Leto, because he was also in that show.
That was one of his first roles, too, wasn't it?
It was an early one for him, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, she won a Golden Globe for it, but it only lasted like 19 episodes, so not even a full season.
Firefly only lasted 11.
Your next category is Cosmic Figures. During the Gemini 4 mission in 1965, this man became the first American to perform a spacewalk. Tragically, he was also one of the 3 astronauts in the Apollo 1 disaster. Who am I talking about?
2.75 out of 3 meow meows.
That's good enough for me if we want to lock in.
Yep.
Okay, Carmela, we're locked in.
Okay.
So, Anton, if I name astronauts for you, do you think you'd be able to pick them out of the fire?
Possibly, but I'm not sure I'd be able to place them on Gemini 4.
Right. Well, I mean, there's only 3 people who were in the fire, and one of them was Ed White, and he has a local high school named after him. So that's the one that I know for sure, right? And I'm trying to figure out who the other 2 were in case they give us any options, but I just can't think of their names right now. I've studied this to try and learn them, but it's not coming to me. I don't know if it's Gus Grissom or Deke Slayton. I don't think it'd be Deke. I think he'd be in the booth at this point. I just can't think of anybody else's name, so the best one I have is Ed White.
Yeah, okay. I'm fine with that. Nothing's saying first spacewalk to me, so Ed White is good.
All right, we're saying Ed White.
All right. So a couple months ago, I was joking around with my uncle and was saying, well, who's this Ed White person? Why does he have his school named after him? And my uncle, who all of y'all know from the show and also in person, love you, Uncle Chip, went off on one of his long diatribes on who Ed White was. And he said that he was the first person to walk in space. And I was like, oh, cool. Or one of the first people to walk in space is what I think he actually said. I was like, oh, that's cool. And so we locked in with Ed White because of that conversation.
Chris, you should have said, so he started one of his epic diatribes, and 3 days later, we finally knew.
You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong.
So, the 3 people who were on the Apollo 1 mission was Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger Chaffee. The only one of those guys who was on Gemini 4 was Ed White.
Oh, wow.
Nice
So
job,
he was the first
Jonathan.
American to spacewalk.
I had a second
Uncle
one
Chip.
on the list, too. I just wasn't sure of him.
The first person to spacewalk was a cosmonaut. He did it about 3 months beforehand. His name was Alexei something. I'm looking that up real quick. I can never remember his last name.
Lawless.
No, that's not Alexi Lawless. No, definitely not Alexi Lawless. Doesn't have the hair for it.
Since I'm not contributing anything, my whole strategy is to not talk Jonathan out of any correct answer.
Sounds a lot like my strategy.
I learned a lot from you, Ben.
Leonov. I knew it started with an L. Alexei Leonov.
Cool information.
He did it about 3 months beforehand. So Ed White did it in June 1965. Leonov did it in March. So just beat him out. Your last category before the gauntlet is now I need some coffee. First I needed a drink. Now I need coffee.
Oh, that's good.
Sounds like Jonathan's day.
It sure does.
In the U.S., coffee can only be grown commercially in 2 states. Name both.
All right, we're going to lock in.
Okay. So, Ben, I don't think you drink coffee, right?
I do every day. Well,
you
today
do?
I
Every day.
but-
Okay. I know I do not. Stacey, you showed just a second ago that you drink it, so.
Yeah, got my iced coffee here from Dunkin' Donuts. I know Hawaii is one of the states because I've visited a coffee plantation there. But trying to think of the other state is a little bit more challenging. I know we talked about California.
It would be a place that's got tropical type weather at least some of the year, but still gets a good bit of rain. So not really a whole lot of options. We kind of ruled out Florida. That doesn't seem like it's familiar, even though the temperature is right for it. Why don't we grow coffee in Florida?
Well, I just don't. I mean, and maybe it's one of those things where I'm just naive, but I've never seen a coffee plantation or coffee or whatever you call it, a coffee garden in Florida.
It's because there are laws about this thing, Ben. That's why we don't do it.
Okay.
So that's why I'm thinking that it's not. It's not Florida. And I've been here, like I said, I've been here my whole life. So, I mean, could it be Georgia? I mean, I know the southern part of it could be very tropical or whatnot. So we just need we need to guess another state and kind of move on because I don't think we're 100% sold on anything.
I think Cali is our best guess here.
So we're going back to Cali?
Maybe it's grown with the wine.
Yeah. Wine in the summer and coffee in the winter.
Okay. So go ahead and lock it in, Ben.
All right. We're locking in with Hawaii and California.
Okay.
We knew Hawaii as well, and we figured that it must be because it's tropical. And even though we aren't aware of anything in Florida, we said, hey, it's the most tropical of our states. So we said Hawaii and Florida.
So the two states that you can grow coffee commercially is Hawaii and California.
Yeah.
Well, Anton, we were 50-50 and we picked the wrong one.
Yes, we were.
You guys have had an outstanding game. Going into the gauntlet, Chris, Stacey, and Ben have 172 points. Anton and Jonathan have 122.
Wow.
Your gauntlet category is As You Wish.
Our wager is locked in.
Our wager is locked in.
Okay. Getting into the gauntlet with category As You Wish, Robin Wright played Buttercup in the film The Princess Bride. From 1996 to 2010, she was married to what actor?
14 meow meows.
All right, we're locked in.
Anton.
Yeah.
Show off your knowledge, brother. What you got?
Robin Wright played Buttercup in Princess Bride.
Yes. Yes. And
let's see. And
was married to someone.
Was married to someone.
We'll go ahead and lock in.
Your next question. Cary Elwes may be the dashing hero, but he has played his share of smarmy villains, including Mayor Larry Klein in Stranger Things and Pierre Despereaux in what comedic detective show?
Yep, Stacey's right. Stacey's right.
Okay.
We're locked in. Then. We're locked in.
There are some really bad feelings in the world, and one of them is the feeling when you know you don't have a clue.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're locked in.
Lock it in.
And your last question in the gauntlet. Maybe the reason you don't go against a Sicilian when death is on the line is because their flag looks like it may kick you with its 3 legs. There are 2 dominant colors on the Sicilian flag. Name one of them.
Okay, I guess we're locked in.
Sure, we're locked in.
My answer is locked in.
All right, let's go back through. Robin Wright played Buttercup in the film The Princess Bride from 1996 to 2010. She was married to what actor? Jonathan and Anton.
Anton, what did we think?
I didn't write that one down. What do you got?
We had a spirited debate over lots of possible options, and we settled on James Spader.
That's right.
All right.
All right, and I remember her name at one point in time. Her acting name was Robin Wright Penn, and so it was. And I guess Jonathan, it's hitting him, but we answered Sean Penn.
Okay. Cary Elwes played the dashing hero in The Princess Bride, but he played villain Pierre Despereaux in what comedic detective show? Chris, Ben, and Stacey.
Stacey, this was all you.
Okay, well, I will tell a little bit of a story if I can. This is actually one of my favorite shows when I was in grad school, and I actually was part of a knitting team called Nerd Wars, specifically for this show, and it was called Team Pineapple, and it's the show is actually Psych.
Nice.
Jonathan and Anton?
This one I wrote down. Our wild guess as Pink Panther.
Okay. And maybe the reason you don't go against a Sicilian when death is on the line because they have 3 kicking legs on their flag, or at least they look like they're kicking to me. What is one of the 2 dominant colors on the Sicilian flag? Jonathan and Anton.
We guessed black.
Okay.
Ben, why don't you take this one?
So we didn't really know either. We said maybe it's a derivative of the Italian flag, which the dominant colors are red and green, and we guessed red.
Okay. So Robin Wright was formerly known as Robin Wright Penn. She was married to Sean Penn from 1996 to 2010.
That burns me up. That burns me up. We should have gotten that.
I had a conversation with Waco just a couple days ago how Cary Elwes seems to play smarmy villains lately. So he did inspire the writing for this question. He was Pierre Despereaux on Psych.
Yes, he was fantastic in that show too.
And the 2 dominant colors on the Sicilian flag, it's the field in the background, and it's split diagonally. It's red and yellow.
Yes.
Nice job, guys.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Wow.
It is weird looking.
That looks like something from Monty Python.
It looks like a really crazy wheel.
Yes.
Terry Jones designed their flag.
Carmela, you didn't mention the head there. The head was
I didn't mention the head.
Wow.
Well, I would say that this comes down to wagers, but you guys got them all right, and you had a lead, so it's a pretty good bet that you guys are going to win, considering that we didn't get it right. We didn't know any of them. So I can tell you that we decided if we were going to get it right, we wanted to force you to bet it all. We bet 122, and we'll finish with 0. Why don't you tell everybody what your wager was?
We decided to wager for the lockout. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Stacey.
Stacey.
Oh my
God. We decided to wager 73.
So with a final score of 245-0, your winners are Stacey, Chris, and Ben.
All right. Nice job.
Nice job, guys.
Nice job.
Sorry, Jonathan.
A really great performance by you guys. You missed 2 questions in the second round and 8 points in the midpoint, and that's it.
Wow.
I think we missed one in the second round. Okay, gotcha. Cool.
That's,
wow.
yeah.
We did.
You were amazing.
Legit.
Yep. All right. Well, before we go, we like to give everybody who comes on the show a chance to do shout-outs or promote a cause that they care about. Anton, we'll start with you.
Thanks, guys. Just want to make sure everybody's doing their census, finding something they care about to support. And my nonprofit is Northwest Hospitality in Washington State, serving our homeless neighbors any way we can, anywhere we can. So get in touch at nwhospitality.org. And thanks for staying inside and keeping people healthy.
nwhospitality.org for Northwest Hospitality. Thank you, Anton. Stacey.
Yes, well, thank you so much. This is a fun opportunity. It was so much fun to participate today. And I just wanted to just kind of give a brief shout out, one to my nephew in Canada, Owen, who is now listening to the show. He's a big trivia buff. Yep. And then just another shout out, given that we're in quarantine right now, just a shout out to all the essential workers that allow the rest of us to stay at home and work from home. And yes. I have a family members who are in the healthcare industry, and so I really appreciate their sacrifice. And as kind of a add-on to that, I just wanted to let people be aware of a scientific study that's going on. If you have like a Fitbit or an Apple Watch wearable, there's a study that's out of Scripps that is looking for early warning symptoms for viral illnesses. They started with flu and now are looking at the COVID-19. And to register for the study or get more information, the website is detectstudy.org.
Very cool. Thank you so much. And I think here at Trivial Warfare, we want to do a big +1 regarding everybody who's out there working, particularly doctors, nurses, hospital staff, all the way down to the custodians and the janitors who are there. Everybody who is putting themselves in harm's way to help people out during this time, you are truly the heroes of this hour, and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, that is going to wrap us up. So for Anton, for Stacey, for Carmela, for Ben, and for Chris, my name is Jonathan. This has been another episode of Trivial Warfare, where it's not just trivia, it's war. Bye, guys.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Trivial Warfare. Be sure to check out the revamped TrivialWarfare.com as your one-stop shop to submit questions, join the community, and get access to over 150 archived episodes. Warm It Up was written and performed by Matthew Stevens. This episode was edited and produced by me, Joel Sharpton. For help with your podcast, visit ProPodcastingServices.com.
Carmela's already done with me. She's like, man, I'm good with not seeing that guy for another 2 weeks.
I still have your birthday present. I have to give you.
one day I will get it, and it will be a
exactly
legendary.
1 month since your birthday.
Yeah, that's true. It has. Happy 1 month birthday to me.
One thing that this whole experience is teaching me is that these recordings are easier to get done when y'all are here.
Yeah.
Ben's like, let me just get up out of my chair and walk away for a minute here. Okay. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, he did that a few times last episode, too. I just have to pee a lot.